Hey, welcome to For the Story, the podcast that steals the tops off of pens that are used in public spaces. My name's Ash.
And I'm Avery, and that is just the most evil.
I know, I should be in jail.
I think
For a lot of reasons.
that is a federal offense.
Damn.
Anyway, you're under arrest. I'm a cop. That's right. This has been a sting operation. I'm not really your friend. Your mom's been paying me.
Mom.
No.
Thanks.
No, that's true.
So, I feel like you almost didn't need to say that. And the fact that you did say that makes it seem way more like my mom pays you.
No.
No, it's
It's not that much anyway.
What are we talking? Am I getting a cut? What the fuck?
This is actually part of this is a weird intro.
This is one of the best ones we've ever done, I say, ignorantly.
Yeah, I'm kind of nervous. I don't have enough to talk about this week, so I'm trying to stall.
Trust me, we're going to have stuff to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We got, believe it or not, guys, we saw a new movie.
Yeah, for the first time.
In a long time.
I
guess
New Mutants.
Yeah. I mean, I think we probably, we didn't watch all of it. I watched all of the new Missy, or the wrong Missy.
Oh, yeah. That's still going back to the summer, though.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, and that movie was also insufferable.
I don't know. I cried at the end.
No, you fucking didn't, man. Did you really?
No.
Oh. No.
I would never. Kitty bite time.
Yeah, he's going to keep trying.
He's a tricky boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this week we watched Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman 2, aka Wonder Woman 1984.
Yes, they've made 1,983 Wonder Womans before that. Actually, it's just Wonder Woman 84. So I don't know what happened to 2 through 83, but it's been a long pandemic.
Wonder Woman
okay,
84. It's WW84.
Yeah, like World Wrestling 84.
Wow, or WD40 84.
It's really close to WD-40, isn't it? Hey, you got any WW-84?
Yeah, we should
I'm all out.
We should. Kelly's not fucking listening to this. You should ask Kelly if you should get WW-84 for your computer. And just see if,
He'll be like, he won't know what it is. He'll be like, I don't know what that is.
Or will he be too proud and pretend like he has an opinion on it?
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
He would know pretty quickly that I was messing with him on that, I think.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, so we watched those two movies. We also watched some other stuff. Avery, did you want to talk about the thing we were talking about?
What's the thing? What?
the thing you were giving Jurassic Park 2 a rewatch?
Oh, yeah. So I don't know, maybe once a year I'll go back through the Jurassic Park movies. Maybe a little more frequently than that.
Yeah, come on.
But I'll give them a break for a little bit and then be like, this is comforting and I know exactly how everything goes in it. So I watched the second one this time because I watched the first one a whole bunch not too long ago. And I don't know. It's pretty fucking cool. We started talking about where the animatronics could possibly be these days. Mm-hmm. And we looked into it a little bit, and it turns out they've been completely disassembled and no longer exist.
Yeah, and it kind of became a conversation of what does it take for things? Do things have to be stolen from set in order for them to be sold to collectors like that? That's the part that confuses me.
I think it's it could be someone who owns the production company just holds on to it.
Yeah, like Lucasfilms.
Yeah, or because they probably have a prop company or something, or I wonder, that might not really be a thing anymore. Mm-hmm. Prop companies, because I don't know, but we started talking about I watched a YouTube video not even that long ago about a guy who owns the severed arm from the first Jurassic Park. Mm-hmm. When Laura Dern is down at Jesus Christ, Cat. When
he's got
Laura Dern is down,
baby syndrome.
Yeah, is down in the power exchange house trying to turn the power back on and gets attacked by the Velociraptor.
Yeah,
and the severed arm falls from between the cables, and she's like, ah.
My question though is just how do you authenticate that kind of stuff?
Yeah, that's the thing. You'd have to buy it from someone who is verified to have worked on the set or like
even
for the
so,
company.
like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of hard to see.
If I worked on the like in the prop company that made Jurassic Park or like helped with Jurassic Park,
you can make a fortune. You just make counterfeiting that shit.
Yeah, you just fucking make things that look like it, and you're like, yeah, this is the one. I worked there, and then they're like, oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, this was good enough.
Like, is there like a douchebag with a mustache that goes on Pawn Stars to tell you if it's an authentic movie replica or like?
Oh, I'm sure somebody does that somewhere. That's probably happened on Pawn Stars.
We should do some research because I want to know more. And Pawn Stars is the most realistic show.
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of that is staged, but some of the thinking is sound there, I guess. I mean, like
they might at least give you a couple indications of like, all right, this is what you look for when you're trying to figure out if something's authentic from like, but it probably is from like pretty specific movies.
Yeah, like Jurassic Park would probably be one of the ones that, you know, would be like that if you think about it. Like, it's a huge movie and it had a ton of props. See, that's what really had me like kind of surprised that they had completely dismantled all of the animatronic T-Rexes, because you'd think that like Stan Winston or whoever would have that in like his like foyer in his giant LA house. Wherever he lives. Like that seems like it was a big one-off prop that they made that couldn't really be used anywhere else, except for the second movie. They reused the one, but after that they never used it again. So you think that like they would keep it. It would cost like $22 million or something to make.
Yeah.
So the fact that like it was just disassembled and the parts have been scattered to the wind and God knows where they are now, you know, kind of was really surprising to me.
I mean, I guess animatronic parts are expensive, and if you're like working for that prop company,
maybe those got reused.
Yeah, they probably got reused,
like pistons and stuff. I know there's all sorts of pneumatic.
Yeah, especially crap. If the figure you're quoting is correct, around like $22.5 million.
I don't think it was quite that much, but like, it was a lot.
Yeah, like if it's a lot of money, like why wouldn't you reuse that parts? It lowers your overhead.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I'm thinking like less this like the more generic parts like pistons and stuff, and I'm thinking like custom like head pieces that they would put like a polyethylene or like a rubbery material over top, or like what even happened to the rubbery material that was on the surface of the creature or the robot itself, like when that got stripped back. But I know that like some of that rubbery material from the first one kind of got destroyed during the filming because they shot a lot of the scenes with the animatronic that wasn't supposed to get wet in the rain. And like for effect, it was like a Spielberg decision last minute, and it supposedly it like caused the thing to weigh like twice as much because the foam just absorbed all this water, and it like kind of ruined it. But they got the shots they needed, so it worked fine. So I don't know. I'm just interested that of all things, like the most iconic animatronic in almost any movie ever isn't, you know, in a museum somewhere, but shit.
Yeah, I mean, like I feel like the Natural History Museum or any like very dinosaur heavy museum should just have it.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
If like, oh my God.
Because man, every time I've gone to New York City and gone to the Natural History Museum, I always have gone and seen the dinosaurs.
Yeah. Like they're cool as hell. There's a good one in Houston too, like a Natural History Museum. And it's we'll
go to New York and see, because I know you'll just have a fucking orgasm immediately. But like,
do they have animatronics there?
Or
is it just skeletons? It's cool either way.
It's just skeletons. They do have some like physical recreations. And then they also they just have a lot of interesting stuff there. And it also their halls of dinosaurs go all the way back to like the Precambrian period, and then go all the way up through like the ice ages.
Yeah, that's really interesting shit.
Yeah, and it's fucking like 3 halls. It's fucking crazy. I used to go as a kid, and I still find a lot of course, my dad wanted to read everything. And like I was just like, I'm a kid, so fuck off.
So I can't read.
And now I'm like, I'm an adult,
and I can't read.
Still can't read. This is why I don't read books, dude.
Yeah, man. You'd think that like they would donate that and put it on like an automated loop or something, because it was manually controlled with like a radio thing.
Yeah.
But you'd think that they would, you know, keep that. And God damn it, the cat is really not going to let us do this.
Yeah, he's being a little jerk boy. But yeah. So that was your big watch of the week. Watched a couple things. I binged all of Sex Education, which is a British Netflix show.
Oh no.
It's basically
one of those, huh?
Yeah, it's about like this boy who's like sexually repressed because he caught his dad fucking around with someone and it ruined his parents' relationship. So, but his mom's like a sex and relationships therapist.
Yeah.
And there's this girl at school who like looks exactly like Margot Robbie but brunette, and
it turns out it was CGI Margot Robbie.
Yeah, it was de-aged Margot Robbie.
Whoa!
But he finds out that he's like really good at giving people sex advice.
Oh, I remember this one.
Yeah, and like so he starts like a Charlie Bartlett kind of business where he just like charges people to give them sex advice.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
Wait a second, I don't remember this one. This is one. There was the kid who didn't go through puberty movie.
Yeah, that's
remember that.
Yeah, this is
which
a TV
is almost
show.
Exactly the same as this.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, like this was 2 seasons of a TV show. Cool representation that you never see ace people in TV or movies. So
ace people,
asexual.
Oh,
yeah, and so they had ace representation, which was kind of tight.
I mean, you probably see them. I don't know if maybe people just don't have a lot to say about them. I mean, think about how many plots are motivated by sexual desires.
Oh, we're gonna talk about it. But no, like her scene was even short. Like she's just like, I have no interest in having sex. She's like, have you heard of asexual? It's like, what's that mean? It's like she just don't want.
Who wouldn't know what that means?
I mean,
it's really self-explanatory.
It is, but also high schoolers. I mean, they're not American high schoolers, so you expect them to be a little smarter. But
yeah,
no, it was a good show. It was a good show. I got recommended it by someone I'm talking to, just like a friend, and she works in textiles, and she was like, "Oh yeah, the costuming's crazy." Didn't really pay attention to the costume.
Was it just like
it was? I mean, like there was like the one gay character who had like he did like crazy like Pan-African drag, which was kind of wild.
Oh my!
But
wasn't that was also in Tammy and the T-Rex? You remember that?
Oh yeah, that's the same kind of thing, but like
same kind of thing.
A lot more eye makeup.
Okay.
Yeah, and then on top of that, I also watched. God, I watched it. Oh, it was like called The Outcasts or something, or The Outside. Not The Outsiders. That's a different movie. But it's honestly, I want to show it to you because it's one of the worst scripts I've ever seen.
Yeah, you brought this up.
Yeah, Victoria Justice is in it. It's about like the nerdy kids creating a socialized coalition to overthrow the hierarchy of high school and realizing the consequences of power.
So it's Revenge of the Nerds.
It's Revenge of the Nerds, but like worse somehow.
Oh no. Yeah. Revenge of the Nerds is like out of date and
it's okay. It's less out of touch.
That's good.
Like that's not what I meant. I would say that like script wise, Revenge of the Nerds is better. Because like when you do like a Revenge of the Nerds thing nowadays, it's like there are 50 kinds of nerds. Like,
those are the robotics nerds, and those are the Android nerds, and those are the iPhone nerds.
Like fucking insane. Like they just do this one scene where they just list off types of nerds, and I'm like, yeah, that's all accurate, but fuck this movie.
What I think is like funny about that is like there was a point in time, I think back in like the 80s when kids were still consuming lead, when it was like not cool to have passions and things.
Yeah, fuck that, dude.
Yeah, it was like like you were a nerd if you were passionate about things. But then that changed at some point in like the 2000s when it was actually cool to like give a shit about stuff.
Yeah.
And then so now everyone's kind of a nerd and everyone likes that.
Is like people realize like, oh, like nerds make money, dude. And like there was like a certain element of
I guess.
Like, yeah, nerdy people tend like because like the trope of just like people who were nerdy in high school being more successful than people who were popular or jockey in high school.
That was kind of always a thing.
Yeah, it was always a thing. But then like it was so popularized in media, I feel, that like it became cooler to have, because it's like when you're in high school, if you have passions now, it's like this means this guy might be, not a fucking loser. Who works at Home Depot in like into his 40s or whatever.
Yeah. I think like part of it is that like you think about like, I don't know, some kid whose only thing is sports, and like that's fine, but then like you get out of high school and like unless you get struck by lightning and become a professional sports actor.
But then
I almost said
sportsman.
Then like that doesn't really lead anywhere.
And
but
most athletes do not make it past 30 in their sports. You know,
yeah,
it's like,
exactly. And,
so it's
and
like
that's like the top of the top.
And like,
you know, so like, you got to have some kind of other interest. And I think it's less like, I think it's just more about like having a personality and caring about something is actually just kind of cool to most people nowadays.
Yeah.
It's just like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter what it is as long as you care about something like intently, you know.
I don't know what that's like because I'm cool.
What a nerd. This person cares about something.
Yeah, I care about
isn't sports.
Go Blazers. Let's get into our movies for the week. We watched the Wonder Womans. We watched them in a really
Wonder Women.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
We watched them in a weird order. We watched first 3/5 of the first one.
That's accurate. And there was about 50 minutes left. And then we watched the second one. And then we realized that we had to finish it, the first one. Yeah. And we didn't want to do it because that first one.
I was just like, let's do it.
Oh my God. And I'm kind of glad it got me prepped with some more ammo.
Yeah. Oh God. So there's a lot of ammo and I'm firing it all at Gal Gadot's stupid bracelet.
Yeah. Right. And
I'm going to be really fucking mean about these movies.
Like, I don't know. For the most part, it is pretty benign, but it is also a drag. They're mostly just a drag.
Yeah.
Like both of them, sort of. The second one a little less so, because it is a little poppier, which I think was really needed, especially after the first one, which I guess let's start, is a colorless void of soul.
Yeah, it is devoid of plot. It is devoid of character arc. It is devoid of color.
Man, they like were so close to passing the Bechdel test with like our main character
but they
had to rush
whole first 20 minutes.
They almost made it 20 minutes without having to introduce a main male protagonist.
Yep.
But they just couldn't not put Chris Pine in there.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we have the Pinester. Fuck.
And Wonder Woman has to fall in love with someone because she's a girl.
Yeah, well, women do be loving, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, that's how it is. Women like love and shopping.
She only shops once.
She shops. She shops once and she goes to a gala the second time.
Oh, yeah. Women love dancing.
Yeah. Like, there had to be a gala scene. There had to be a clothes try-on scene.
And I have a lot to say about that for the second movie. They did have a makeover montage where she complained about things not being ready for war.
And like, I think part of the problem and the reason that montage didn't really connect is because it's hard for people to remember a time when they too were wearing pre-industrial English garb or industrial era English garb. It's just like, I don't know. This all looks ridiculous to me, you know?
God. Yeah, like, here's my theory, okay?
Yeah.
Now, I think that they told Gal Gadot before they took her on set that she was being re-enlisted in the Israeli army, and that's why she has the acting range of a dead person.
Yeah, Gal Gadot is far from a strong point of this movie, which is unfortunate because she is our lead actress.
She's also pro-apartheid, but that's besides the point.
My God, dude.
Free Palestine.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she comes from an island of hot babes who do horse acrobatics.
Or as we like to call it, Lesbo Island.
Oh, Lesb Island. We haven't
I'm a Lesb Island.
I'm lesbisexual.
This is so fucked.
No, it's just a lot of ladies. They live on an island together. They're roommates.
Yeah, they're all just roommates.
They're all just roommates.
It's like, I heard like this is crazy. So I used to have a lot more gay friends when I was working at a bar because there's a lot of gay people everywhere. It's just a thing. And there's like a stereotype amongst gay women that they move in together really quickly.
Yeah, I've heard this. Yeah.
And like I had never heard that in my life. I was like, no shit. And so like
this
so they all moved into an island together really quickly. They wasted no time moving to an island and building an all-women society.
My favorite thing, like, because like part of that, like their roommates thing is like historically, like they'd find a male or female figure and they'd be like lived with their best friend and they stayed with them their whole life and they took care of each other into old age. You know,
Wait, what is this in the real world? Or?
Yeah, in the real world.
Oh,
they'll like, you know, like historians or anthropologists will find stuff and they'll just be like, yeah, they're just roommates. And it's like, dude, what?
Oh, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
When they were very, like it's very clearly like hetero washing of like historical events.
Yeah. But,
and this was his muse, is what people like to say. His muse. Yeah. It's like, oh, yeah, they were probably kind of gay.
They're probably roommates.
Yeah. I'm sure they were roommates.
For sure they were roommates.
Yeah.
So they live on an island together and, it's just a bunch of CrossFit athletes play all the female Amazonians.
Yeah. And they're all very clearly American women from Southern California. And none of them have an Israeli accent. We have a theory.
Until the second one.
Until Gal Gadot was cast.
Yeah, until Gal Gadot was cast. The theory is that Gal Gadot just can't fucking like
do an American accent.
Chill the fuck out on just like talking like this.
Yeah,
I can do it. I'm quarter Israeli. Stop.
We thought this is our theory, and this is pretty cynical, but
pretty fucked. But I don't care.
Could be the truth. Is that Gal Gadot was told that she needed to do an American accent to be Wonder Woman, and then she got on set, and it was so bad that they made all of the other actresses.
Like, you guys can actually act, right? Can you do an Israeli accent,
and they're all
please?
just like, yeah. And it ends up sounding like a generic fantasy accent.
Yeah, it does. Because like they're not like great at it either, but like they really got pushed into a corner by Gal Gadot's just like.
But I like the idea that her American accent was so bad that even the bad Israeli accents coming from all of the other actresses was better.
Avery, imagine all the people.
This is speculation. Oh my gosh. This is just like all speculation. That's probably not what happened. Probably.
I don't know. But she's lived here for so long. She can't like put on like
maybe they asked her to play it up.
Yeah.
Like maybe they were just like, you come from an island of hot lesbian women. Like, why not? Why don't they have to?
Lesbians, because she's in love with the man immediately.
Yeah, immediately. The second.
Yeah, she's just like, what's fucking the worst scene? Like fucking Chris Pine comes on into the island.
Chris Pratt.
And they're like, you can't trust men. And then like they have like a weird conversation about how men are archaic for pleasure and are only useful for fertility,
that's right.
Which is like a really weird conversation to have with anyone.
And Chris Pine talks about how he's above average for most men, and his like penis is just off of camera.
Yeah, because she's like, "What's that?" And he's like, and it's like she's talking about like his watch or something, like or a map, right. And he's like, she's like.
Oh my god. So talk about two actors that have the worst on-screen chemistry of anybody. And Chris Pine is not a tall guy, and Gal Gadot is a very tall woman.
He's supposedly tall. He's listed at 6'1.5".
I don't think he is, man.
I mean, like
she's
in heels all the time. She's in those giant so maybe that's fucking heels.
Because she's at least she's 5'10".
Yeah.
And if he's 6 foot, she's wearing heels. That makes a lot of sense. Regardless, he looks like a little man next to her.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah.
Also, because she's like in better shape than him. Like he's not in bad shape.
Yeah,
but
he's in fine shape. There was a couple like shirtless scenes where they clearly like cut up above the belly button. Yeah, you know what I mean. And it was like, okay,
yeah, like he's in similar shape that I am, and it's like, okay, cool,
okay, like all right.
And like, why is he so well manscaped? This is 1912 or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
What the fuck?
And like and this is when we start to get into the just ever confusing nature of the characters, why they are where they are. Mm-hmm. He's an American acting as a spy for the British
on the Germans.
Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of layers here to unpack.
And none of those layers actually have any bearing on the story. Like,
none of it matters at all. Oh my God, none of it matters at all. No, they might as well just have been the Americans.
Yeah, they just like, they're like,
Did the Americans fight in World War One? See, I don't even know because nobody fucking cares about World War One.
They were involved in World War One, but like the thing is like that the only reason why they made him do it through is because they got David Thewlis, aka Remus Lupin.
Yeah,
like
that's what
literally,
it was.
they're just like their idea was centered and like Chris Pratt's so fucking cornbread, you know, like he's
Chris Pine.
Oh,
the other P, Chris.
God, dude, all right. New rule: no more Chris's in superhero movies. Fucking come so at many, me, dude.
There's so many. Yeah. Chris Pine, who isn't the best. I can't call him strictly bad.
No, definitely in the first one, he's like the best part.
He's like fine. He comes across as competent. I see why he never really catapulted into the spotlight, though.
Yeah,
does that make sense?
100%.
Like he's just fine, and then but like with Gal
he's
Gadot,
also good looking, you know, and it's like Gal Gadot gets to be a leading woman in now, like what 4 movies? Well, she three movies. Then she also was in BVS, and like she is good looking and has no talent. And Chris Pine, damn it,
you got this.
Good looking and also a little more talented, so it makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I really like want to understand the direction that they gave Gal Gadot for this. I don't know. Like I can't tell if she was just like living short of people's expectations.
No, she's really tall. Remember, we just talked about this.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like I can't tell if she's living short of like their expectations or if like she really just she just didn't have the direction present.
Well, like,
you know,
I think they gave her some good direction. Like when you do voiceover, act like it's your first time reading in English. Like,
yeah, I don't know.
Like it just like deliver all your lines like you have no passion and do a lot of posing in front of green screens.
She tried. She had one facial expression the entire movie, but that's okay. We can't all be as animated as myself and others.
What are you trying to? You don't. Like,
we can't all be that animated, Ash.
I literally.
You were like one of the more animated people I've ever met, so don't worry.
I just have big eyebrows. I don't really.
Yeah.
I don't know. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
so can we talk about Chris Pine and his air pine?
Oh God!
Yeah, he's flying around in an airplane, and it's like, did they need to have a little bomb?
Yeah, he like literally flies out of a place, turns the plane perpendicular,
perfectly 90 degrees, drops this tiny little bomb, and then this enormous building just blows up.
Yeah, because that's how bombs worked back then.
Yeah, dude, that's a hand grenade.
Yeah,
it's just a standard issue British or American spy working as a British spy working as in the Germans. Standard issue fragmentation grenade.
It seemed like he had already been made, but then he went back to Germany and like saw the lady.
The lady?
Yeah, the doctor lady with the mask face who looked like a way better villain than what ended up being the villain.
Yeah, well, we got...
It's like, oh no, we got David
Mr.
Thewlis.
Evil, I think was his name, or...
Ares.
yeah, whatever his name was.
The God of War. I was really hoping she'd fight Kratos.
Yeah, like David Thewlis. That's the gotcha. David Thewlis, who was the British guy who was Chris Pine's dad or whatever, was actually the bad guy.
Your ability to just not understand what's happening in a movie will never astound me. Never stop astounding me. Like fucking.
It was Chris Pine's
There were these
uncle.
Secondary characters who every time they were on screen, it was like, who are these people?
Because they didn't fucking matter at all. And I would forget that they were in the movie and then they'd come back.
They were on screen every like 30 seconds.
And it was stupid every time and pointless every time. Yeah, like, okay, you're telling me the chief is a necessary character? I don't even think they gave him a name.
They called him the chief at one point.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
So he was like, a Native American fighting for the British, I think, in World War One.
He was basically acting as a coyote, like literally like helping people smuggle people past the front lines. Like, and he was like getting paid to do it. And he's like, you got to make money, you know, because the Americans murdered all of us. And it was like such an awkward thing
because it makes no sense for him to be there.
I mean, maybe there. I mean, I'm not willing to rule out, as someone who doesn't know a ton about World War One, that there were no Native Americans that had gone over. It feels unlikely.
It feels so out of place. Like, see, the thing is like, if that was a thing, why bring it into Wonder Woman?
Fantastic question.
Right?
Because this movie didn't have to take place in any year.
Yeah. This could have been World War II and probably nothing would have changed. And that's how little it meant.
Trying to avoid the fact that this movie was Captain America.
It was exactly.
It was like Captain America and
they were like, oh, but it'll be World War I instead. Like they'll never notice.
They'll never notice.
Yeah, and it's like every time they said Chris Pine's character's name, which was Steve, I kept thinking about Captain America, and they knew it. They probably knew it in the final cut, and they were like, it's too late now.
Yeah,
we gotta send a ripoff, dude. Yeah. We gotta upload 3 seconds of punching noises.
Yeah,
like
send it, dude.
We can do.
Oh, so once they get to, I can never tell if they're in Britain or what.
Well, there's a whole dead air slump in the middle where I fell asleep, I think, for a little bit, and we were texting, and then we get back, and then there's Chris Pine and Wonder Woman hook up, and we're like, oh, well. I guess that's got to happen. She's got to fall in love somehow,
Listen,
right?
This strong, powerful woman who can like pick up a tank. Well, what she really needs is a male love interest.
Well, no, it's truly, if you were paying attention, it's the source of all her.
Don't fucking condescend to me.
It was the source of all her power. Because remember when he died in the plane because he blowed up.
She blowed up.
She went into a barbarian rage, and she was stronger, and she picked up a tank.
Yeah.
Remember that? It's because, she's a woman and they get a little unstable when they can't have their man, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Whenever I die, my girlfriends get real pissed.
That's what always happens. They're picking up tanks.
Yeah.
It's just like
the last Californian earthquake is when I faked my own death, and like
it's like the thing is that in a movie, because I remember when this came out and it was just like it's feminism, or and like people were like, there were like incels who were upset, because it's feminism, and it's just like, this is like not that.
Yeah. If Gal Gadot knew how to be funny, this would have been a rom-com.
Yeah. Like for real. We discussed how Gal Gadot has never heard or laughed at a joke in her entire life. And the thing is that like, because she beats up people and picks up tanks, like that is physical strength. But that's not like...
That's also never what makes a hero.
Yeah, like ever. And that's like that's DC missing the mark just so hard.
Oh yeah, and like
just so hard.
Yeah, it's always like he's the strongest guy, and then he's a stronger guy, but then he becomes an even stronger guy.
Without good character development, it means fucking nothing.
Yeah.
And like the fact that this movie and I don't know if they went themselves, they did some moments where she was just like standing up for herself and stuff, and that's fine, that's cool, but like it just seemed to have missed that mark that I think it thought it was hitting. And when her like half of her motivation for her character is because her boyfriend dies and gets blowed up.
It's like also like
sucks.
When they go from the trenches and then she like kills every German, it's just like more female war criminals.
Exactly.
Let's go.
Exactly.
Yes, queen.
It was like she was like looking around, all of this death, everyone dying, and she like ripped dudes in half, and like it was so ridiculous. It's just like, it's good when she's on the right side of the war. Yeah. She better be a British person, like a real American. Freaking ridiculous. Like just so like I could tell that the people writing it probably had just as much of a knowledge of World War I as I did. They just threw shit in there.
Yeah, they just really didn't want it to be World War II.
Yeah.
Like that was literally what it was.
And like
they should have done like
there was
Vietnam
plane combat. I don't think World War I really had plane combat. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think there was some
maybe
kind of
limited plane combat, but it wasn't like single manned planes on spy missions dropping tiny bombs into warehouses.
Yeah.
It was like probably like planes with like a big gun strapped to the front that rammed each other.
I mean, like, I'm willing to give it the benefit of a doubt. It is a comic book movie. Like that's like not really where my gripe is. My gripe is at one point Gal Gadot goes to a gala and she has a whole sword down the back of her dress, and it looks like there's no way that the sword isn't between her ass cheeks.
So
like, it's literally not possible.
So that scene reminded me, and it totally stripped any of the tension that may or may not have been there.
Who knows?
In Deadpool, when they're doing the montage of him with his girlfriend, and it's Christmas time, and he gives her a lollipop, and she's just like, "Where was that hidden?" And he's like, "Nowhere." It's like, that's where the sword was.
Yeah, it was.
She pulled it out of her butt.
Oh my god!
There's a theme of things coming out of people's butts in movies lately that we've noticed.
Yeah, actually.
What was the other suspiciously
one? What was it, 2001: A Space Odyssey? Or?
No, Doolittle. Shutters. What was it? Creep Show Holiday Special.
Okay.
Where he was pulling stuff out of his butt, and now Wonder Woman.
Man, that's a triple threat right there. Those are all basically the same movie.
Yeah.
And then also Gal Gadot's crazy costume changes.
Yeah, that's just a theme.
Yeah,
that's just the theme of Wonder Woman, I guess.
Yeah, it's just like she's able to change into that fucking metal shit
because she's a strong woman.
Does that mean quick costume changes? I thought that was something that Bowie was good at.
It's just like, I don't know, man. I think like I don't really understand why this movie was held so high when it came out. And like the thing is like, if in a vacuum, if I saw this, I would probably think it's fine.
Which I would say I would say it's fine.
I guess it's fine.
It's
kind of boring.
Yeah.
The only stuff that like really kind of worked was the fish out of water stuff. That kind of had like a little snap to it. But Gal Gadot is a humorless void of a human.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like didn't really work either.
She acts like she's seen everything in the world before. Like that's just kind of like the model like mentality, I guess.
Like they gave her like, oh, close. Like they gave her all of these traits and they just kept inventing them. Like she spoke every language ever invented by humans and some by dolphins.
Yeah.
And there was like 4 like attempts at jokes about how she spoke every language. And then one of like the crony Ewok characters like was like, yeah, like started talking to her, and then he never showed up in the movie again.
No, he was one of the characters who kept going, "Who is this?"
Yeah. He was like one of the Ewoks.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean when I say that?
Yeah.
Like how in Return of the Jedi, like Han Solo and Leia, all the like tertiary or the secondary characters are doing bullshit with the Ewoks, while the real story with Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader is happening up on the spaceship.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so they were the Ewok characters. They were running around and like pulling pranks and like blowing up Nazis or World War I Nazis. Like
they were pantsing Germans and tabletop.
Exactly. They were the Ewoks. They were the Ewok characters.
God.
And there's always that. Like they're always in that. Like, have you ever seen the third Matrix movie?
Yeah, we watched it together.
Right, we did, didn't we? So you know how like in the third one, like at the final act when there's the big fight and like all the robots are attacking Zion, and there's all those characters that are like crawling through ducts and shooting rocket launchers and shit. It's exactly the same as Return of the Jedi. Those are the Ewok characters. Okay. So that's what I mean by that. But like, I don't know.
Should we get into the second one?
Yeah. Is there anything else to say about this?
The first one? No.
There's really not,
yeah, she fights Ares and he's got Magneto's powers, which is dumb.
Yeah, and it's David Thewlis, who's like actually a good actor, and I think that like his agent probably negotiated to have the helmet not on for the latter half of the fight.
Yeah, they make him look really cool up front when he's on fire, and then he just becomes gray, and he should have stayed on fire.
Well, it's a good DC movie. You need a good gray villain.
Yeah. Well, I've shown you the new Steppenwolf, right? Where it looks even worse somehow.
I think that's so fucking good.
Like they're just like, okay, but what if we put more stuff on his face? Does that make it better? It's like, no, he's still giant and gray.
Like why? Like
he's so ugly. He looks like a WoW fucking cinematic.
This is what I don't understand. Like Justice League just did everything so wrong. Like with the Avengers, right? Which is the movie that begs comparison.
Yeah.
Like that's what they wanted to do. Mm-hmm. With the Avengers, like the villain was Loki, who was like small enough time and he was like a character you've already met and you already knew was a villain and had like cosmic enough significance to come back around. He was already set up as a megalomaniac.
Yeah.
Like it all made so much sense.
And he had his strings being pulled by someone else, and that created intrigue for future movies.
Yeah. And also like he was played by a human actor, not a CGI monster.
Yeah.
So it like you immediately had more connection with him.
And like the CGI monsters were for punching. Like that's
exactly
that's what's good.
Yeah. That's like a breakdown of a great way to do an ensemble movie like that. The nameless CGI monsters who get their asses beat. And that's for Black Widow to shoot and get on the speeder bike.
Yeah, and like for Hawkeye to run out of arrows.
Yeah, exactly. For like those scenes.
Yeah.
And like that stuff worked fine enough. But then you have like your showdown with your like main big characters, and then they all team up at the end and become friends. And so the real Avengers were the friends we made along the way. And then,
exactly.
And so like Justice League just missed the mark in so many ways and betrayed its own characters. I can't wait to rip that Zack Snyder cut apart, dude.
It's gonna be rough. DC fans at me, dude.
Yeah, like when is that supposed to come out?
March.
Damn, that's some time from now. I was kind of hoping it was going to be around this.
Well, it's also going to take all of March to watch because it's 7 hours.
Because it's 782 hours long.
Yeah, it's directed by Ari Aster.
It's fully 2 weeks long or whatever.
The Zack Snyder cut is directed by Ari Aster, and it's a horror comedy.
Oh my god. The Zack Snyder cut. It's just like...
It's like Zack Snyder cut's directed by a different guy. Can you imagine, dude? That'd be so funny.
I
would respect him so much for that.
If he like knew, he was like, this sucks, dude. And like, I don't know. It's going to be no different. It's going to suck ass. And people who care about the DC movies are going to be like, actually, that was awesome.
Oh, man. I've seen people on Twitter defending.
They're already.
Like, and they're like, he's the best Batman we've ever had. I'm like, what?
Dude, these are the same people that think Trump won the election. Right?
Dude, these are just like the most brain dead morons. Like, I just don't like literally, I don't understand how you could be a fan of those franchises and not just be like, DCEU needs to stop.
They started they had more hits when they were doing like less connected ones, right?
Yeah, they do.
Like Joker is something that we talked about. Shazam, which actually had more of a vibe of some of these like the BVS. It was a little more lighthearted, which they desperately needed, trust me. But like it didn't feel like it was wholly separate from like the other DCEU movies, whereas Joker is on like a different level. Yeah. You know, like I can't imagine Joaquin Phoenix's Joker like alongside the Suicide Squad. Like that sounds cringy and terrible.
Yeah, I could
and like
imagine
a disservice to that movie, which was actually decent.
Him and Robert Pattinson, though.
See, I could see that.
Like that, I think could be decent.
I think Robert Pattinson.
We'll see.
I don't know, man. I'm so sick of like, who's the next Batman going to be? It's like, why does it have to be a next one?
Yeah, like
I'm like, hey, can we just end?
Everyone tells me about how DC has so many different characters,
but they have 4 characters.
They have 4 characters,
and they're like struggling to find more. They brought in who like Mr. Robot. Who was the new one? There was a robot guy,
Cyborg.
Yeah, they brought him in
from the Teen Titans.
Killer Croc.
Killer Croc's tight as hell.
You think DC has so many characters? Pulls in Captain Boomerang.
Yeah, they didn't even bring in Leonard Snart, aka Captain Cold.
DC has 2 cold villains.
One has a gun, one has a suit. All right, they're
Leonard
different.
Snart,
dude. Dude, that's the sandwich place up the street.
Yeah, Snart's sandwiches.
Let's actually talk about World War II.
Yeah.
Or not
World War II. World War 84. 2020's been rough.
That kind of that brings me to my first point. So you have your Jewish actress. You go from World War I to 1984. Did she stop the Holocaust?
No,
she didn't stop the Holocaust.
Nope. She could have. Well, that would have been too close to Captain America.
Yeah, but they could have at least like had a throwaway line where it's like, "Wow, it's really great that you're the person.
You sure did kill a Hitler.
Wow, you stopped genocide.
Like,
that's
or at
crazy.
least like, goddamn, they don't even need that. They could just like show pictures of her fighting in World War II.
Yeah, or
and that
like
would have
a
been good
newspaper
enough.
clipping in her apartment.
Boom.
That's
so
like,
done. Like when Chris
mystery-
Pine's like looking at her achievements, I can
like-
envision the scene so
Yeah,
well.
it's
Like
like
soft afternoon, like late afternoon lighting. He's like looking. Like I think the scene happened. I think he looked at her bookcase.
Yeah.
Like they could have just thrown in
But
a
instead they like had
Wonder Woman saves.
saves Bergen-Belsen prisoners.
What is it? Liberates Jewish
Dachau or Auschwitz.
Yeah, exactly. Like that, just so simple.
Yeah.
So fucking easy.
They could even say Mystery Woman. I don't care. But like, because instead
well, that's
like,
how, because they never call her Wonder Woman in any of them.
No.
The movies, you just know it's Wonder Woman because it's fourth wall breaking, I guess.
Yeah.
And like they could do something and put it in quotes.
Yeah.
Mysterious Wonder Woman. Like that's so easy.
It's just weird how it's like people are confused about who she is, and things have happened between fucking.
And by things you mean 70 years.
Yeah, 70 years of like wars, and like she killed Ares, so like shouldn't the wars not be happening? The laws of these movies doesn't.
You're right. I thought bad things gonna happen anymore.
Yeah, she killed the god of war, Kratos.
Well, he does say at the end that he's not exactly the god of war. He's the god of truth.
It's bullshit.
Yeah. So checkmate, atheists.
Yeah, take that. There is
take that, Marvel fans.
Yeah. Marvel fans. He actually did explain that.
I think the first thing we need to talk about with Wonder Woman 84 is the fact that this movie takes place in 1984, but has nothing to do except for aesthetically with the year 1984.
Yeah.
It could have been in any year.
Yeah. Any year. Like
literally, it could have been 64.
1984 is a very famous book by George Orwell.
Like I was kind of thinking that they were going to do like a surveillance state type thing.
But again, too close to Captain America, because the second one was also a spy thriller.
Yeah.
That involved espionage and all those things. It's like really weird how close they try to touch to it.
Oh yeah, because it's just all copycat stuff. They're like, and I think you're totally right. I think you're like Captain America, not Civil War, but Winter Soldier was closer to like a surveillance deep state movie.
Yeah.
Like than this ever got. Like this was nothing to do with that.
No.
Like
it was literally about a wishing rock.
So why the fuck was it called? Why wasn't it called Wonder Woman the Wish Rock?
Yeah. Or like Wishmaster.
Or Wonder Woman 2. Two woman. Like they could have called it anything else. Yeah. Like 1984 had nothing to do with anything that took place other than the fact it happened in 1984.
Yeah, I mean they could have done it in the 90s and it would have been like
probably not that much. Probably no different.
They just changed the character to either still do oil or do a .com. Like that's literally what it takes.
And like the thing is like the only reason they had it take place in 1984 is because nostalgia sells.
Yeah.
And so this time it's happening in stuff that I remember and told my kids about, you know.
Yeah. And like, even like the poster, like the color scheme they're using is like a classic 80s neon.
Yeah. And that lasts for like the first scene, which takes place in a mall because 80s. Yeah. And then the rest of the movie.
Yeah. The one from Chopping
fashion.
Mall or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it might actually be the one from Chopping Mall.
I'm pretty
too.
sure it is.
Yeah. And
pretty sure it's a Westfields or something.
Yeah. It's some mall in Southern California. Yeah. And, but that a whole bunch of movies were filmed at.
Yeah.
But like there's no reason for it to be in 1984, and that's dumb to me.
Yeah.
And that's all I have to say.
There's a lot of stuff that's dumb about this. We're just gonna skip CrossFit scene because it's stupid.
It's so pointless. It's like something out of Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah, it's like
this had like moments, especially that opening scene that felt like Thor: The Dark World, and that's when I started to think I was because I thought she was just one of like the Asmodean ladies. Amazonian ladies.
Asmodean. She's the fucking devil, dude. Women are the devil, man.
I thought she was one of the Amazonian ladies, and just like they were just a race of powerful beings. But no, she's the best Amazonian woman.
Because she's literally the daughter of Zeus.
Yeah, because she's the best ever. And she's a super crazy superhero, and she's going up against fully grown adults as a child and like all this stuff.
Whooping they ass.
And I think that she doesn't have enough character flaws.
Nope, she does not. And that's a DC problem.
Kind of makes her a freaking Mary Sue.
Yep.
Which is also another, like Superman's a Mary Sue.
Yeah, DC flaw.
Yeah. It's just like, she has no, and like they keep inventing new ways her powers can work, and she just explains like, oh, the lasso of truth can also travel you through time or something like that.
It's just like ridiculous. It's like
the lasso of truth can also show you the truth. It's like, come on, like just like have somebody send her a letter.
Yeah, like
she reads it aloud to Chris Pine.
What the fuck?
And it's just like there seems to be no limitation on her power, and it starts to get boring.
Yeah,
it's the same reason Superman's boring.
Well, here's the thing. All right. Let's start at the beginning, because there's a lot of just ridiculous things. I think that mall scene is one of the more insane things in the world because literally it hinges the entire plot on it, because the magical wish stone is literally being held in the back room of a Zales. Like that's
right.
That's like literally where they start this whole process.
Is there any explanation as to how it got there?
They sell black market stuff in the back of the mall Zales.
Oh my God, dude. I guess it is a fantasy world. It's a superhero world.
No, that's unacceptable.
Cash on the side. The wish stone is in the back of a mall sales.
Yeah, and like it gets picked up, and she does insane things like destroy the body cam footage. No, I'm just kidding. But she does like knock out cameras. They do like an okay job with the whip, I think, in this early scene. You know, where it's like, it's kind of fun. She's swinging around.
Yeah. I don't think choreography is one of the weaker parts of either of these. There was some, it does get worse later.
Choreography, not a problem. Their utilization of CGI for the action is awful.
Yeah. And it feels like it gets worse.
Stuff, like, looks good. Like, I would say, like, the scene in the White House where she's fighting Cheetah.
That was one of the stronger parts.
Yeah.
But let's go up through this a ways. We catch back up with Wonder Woman, and she's fighting people in a mall. And then it turns out that she works at a museum.
The Smithsonian.
She works at the Smithsonian, which is odd because you'd think that somebody who's fought in every war.
Yeah, but also like
would be like a politician.
Well, it's like
they're not like this ageless woman. Like how this is crazy. You've been the same age for 70 years.
Yeah, like no one's noticed.
Yeah.
They don't really clarify how long she's been there.
Yeah.
But
why she's still living in the real world.
Yeah.
They don't really touch on, because you have to keep in mind like that stuff that happened in Batman and Superman and Justice League hasn't happened yet,
which is an insane thing to do.
Yeah, because they had this take place in 1984, so this is technically the first time we're catching up with this character since the first movie.
So 70 years has passed, and she's just been like depressed and like has no friends.
Yeah. And she works at the Smithsonian.
Yeah, and she's like literally just.
But she's also super cool, because remember, Kristen Wiig wants to be sexy and cool like her.
Yeah, but Kristen Wiig is, well, let's just say she has glasses and a ponytail. Let me tell you what.
Don't need to say any more to me.
She can't walk in heels that well. Let me tell you what.
Damn, one of those girls.
Yeah, it's like you really. Honestly, dude, you can't be a woman if you're not good at walking in heels. I think that's a really good lesson to take away from this movie.
So Kristen Wiig plays Kristen Wiig, and is like overlooked by like her peers, and like people forget her, and the boys. People forget her name. She's uncomfortable. She meets Wonder Woman, who is nice to her, and she ends up with the Witch Stone somehow. Somehow in this time, Wonder Woman also wishes that Chris Pine comes back.
Not quite yet.
Yeah, it's all in that first act.
Well, yeah, it's all in that first act, because
it's around this time.
The FBI like picks up the Zales heist stuff, and
they bring it to the Smithsonian.
Yeah,
for
Kristen Wiig, who's like
to inspect.
Yeah,
right, and she wishes that she's cool and sexy, and Diana wishes Chris Pine was back, but not even like really. It's interesting because later in the movie, all of the characters have to like explain, I wish for this, but she's just like, I think I know what I'd wish for, and walks away.
And they do this really bad thing that every time someone makes a wish, like their hair moves.
Yeah,
maybe that's just because I don't have hair.
Cheesy.
Like, and I'm just like, so what?
Well, every time I make a wish, my hair moves. It's just how it is.
Damn, that's sweet as hell. But yeah, it's really weird.
But yeah, because especially since later in the story, they hinge a lot of one character's abilities on whether or not they say, I wish for this something. So I don't know why Diana was able to just be like, I think I know what I'd wish for.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
Yeah, I don't even. Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
It's just another inconsistency.
Yeah, and then so Pedro Pascal does come out in at this point, and he plays like.
I like the idea of his character. He's like a con man oil guy who's running like a pyramid scheme.
Yeah,
and he's like desperate to get like actual oil to like start selling to make money to the people who have invested in his shell company, basically.
Yeah, he's literally like a Trump stand-in though, like because he's just like literally at one point he says like I'm not a businessman, I'm a TV personality. Like, yeah,
that's right.
He's like, it's like, okay, really on the nose, guys. Nice one.
But whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, and
this is because we know how lib these movies get. Yeah, we know. And but like I like the idea of his character so much more than I think it ended up being executed. Because I don't know if Pedro Pascal is a good actor, but
he's really being pushed right now. It's crazy.
Yeah, like he's in a lot of stuff right now. I think either he has like a great agent, like I don't fucking know.
And he's capitalizing on his popularity for sure because he is, the Mandalorian. Like literally, I don't know how we went from guy who wears a mask and like has no
to being in a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, his literal characterization is that he has minimal characterization, and they were like, this guy should act in my movie. Yeah, he should be the bad guy.
Yeah. Like I think what worked about the Mandalorian had nothing to do with Pedro Pascal himself.
No, and I'm sure like he has the capability of being a fine actor, and he did do fine in this. I think overall it fluctuated.
Honestly, he's pretty good in The Mandalorian too. Yeah. Like that's the thing is that like his characterization is built up throughout the story from his choice in action at times. Yeah. Which I think is actually good character development.
Yeah, that is great character development.
But I don't like as far as an actor's like way of portraying themselves, I don't think he was super psyched about that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is more in line with what he wanted, but it seemed a little I don't know. There was something that was missing from his performance that worked closer to the end, but earlier on was a little less like he didn't quite have the mania down at first.
No, he didn't have that salesman-y kind of tinge to his personality like that.
He would come in and out of it. So 'cause sometimes it would work, and then sometimes I wonder if it was like I don't know what the sequence of filming was for this, but
or even maybe like just the script.
Yeah,
I think the script was a problem. I think the script was a problem in both of these movies, but I definitely think like of the two, this one had a problematic script.
Yeah, and I think they both kind of did. I mean, like we discussed this earlier, but the worst part about both of these Wonder Woman movies was Wonder Woman, and the reason for it is because she came across as underwritten in both of these.
Yeah.
The only reason the second one is good at all.
Did you want them to overwrite Gal Gadot so she had to do more in these movies?
I wanted her to have something, man. Something more than that first movie.
Yeah.
This is very dull. And like I was really hoping that like they had a brighter tone. I was really hoping that they were going to like snap it up a bit, and they were going to bring in some like more talented, more comedy, not even necessarily comedy, but like snappier
having
writers.
Kristen Wiig in the movie like already made you go
would have thought that you'd think that would have been that, and it never really got there.
No, they didn't utilize her in the right part of her arc as a funny character.
Yeah, and I was hoping that Gal Gadot was going to have a little bit more of that, but she's underwritten in this too. And she's Avery. Like a side character in this.
Yeah, it's fucking weird.
Kristen Wiig was a better main character.
Oh yeah, 100%.
She like was the main character.
Consequences of Power. It's the best superhero movie thing ever.
So much more solid of an arc, whereas Wonder Woman has the same arc as the first one.
Avery, you forget. She also got a random piece of golden armor that she wore for 10 seconds in the movie.
That is true. I didn't forget that.
The most development you can have. New costume.
Yeah. Can we talk a little bit about how when Chris Pine comes back, he inhabits the body of a random man?
Do we want to talk about the fact that she has sex with that man?
Yeah.
And that's also like kind of problematic.
Yeah, that's definitely problematic. And also the fact that the moral implications behind just inhabiting some random man's body.
Yeah, who like has a job and like a
life
and he's like going
a family,
he's
maybe
going to museums, and like probably he's fired. That guy's definitely fired.
Yeah, like he probably lost his fucking job because he didn't show up to work because Chris Pine's just going to Egypt and shit.
Yeah, he's going to Egypt. He's going to fucking see a spacecraft. He's stealing a plane. He's doing federal war crimes.
Oh yeah, they steal the jet.
We'll get there.
Wonder Woman makes it invisible.
But she literally fucks Chris Pine in someone else's body. That's like an unwilling like stranger.
They didn't think that through.
Like
they couldn't just have him like walk through the door. Like, why does he need to inhabit somebody else's body? That just seems so pointless and like morally gray.
The reason why they did that is kind of for that whole end arc where she like sees the guy in the Zales commercial part of the movie.
Oh, because it did look like a Zales. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Speaking of, there was a Zales in the mall, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know what the actual jewelry store was. I called it a Zales.
Oh, okay. I thought it actually was a Zales. I was like, maybe this was shot by a Zales commercial company.
But like, yeah, and like, but like, because the whole reason why they set it up is like so she could have a new male love interest in that like weird frumpy engineer guy.
Yeah.
And like it's like, dude, you raped that guy. Like literally that's what happened.
And like, is she gonna tell him that happened?
Yeah, is she gonna tell him? And, like,
you kind of should have an obligation to tell somebody about these kinds of things.
There's your actual arc, is if she has to tell that guy. And like
third movie right there. And it'll just be a movie all about Wonder Woman's sappy love choices.
Yeah. And like how like morally ambiguous they are, and like how I'm just not good at love. You know, let me tell you what. Yeah. And then it's a rom-com.
It's just like, it's so unfortunate that is just overlooked. They don't even get any comedy out of it.
No, they don't, and they don't even try to justify it. They're just like, you're going to go along with this, bitch.
Yeah. It's kind of unreal and very selfish, and somebody who's the movies tries to tell us is very selfless. Mm-hmm. It's just like you're just inhabiting somebody else's body for your own personal gain.
Yeah.
It's kind of bizarre. And kind of uncool.
Yep, very uncool.
But whatever. Moving on. For some reason, they steal a jet.
Oh yeah, and then they turn it invisible.
And then she turns it invisible, which is the goofiest part. Everybody makes fun of Wonder Woman for. So she can make things. She has an invisible jet.
Yeah.
I guess in this, it's not now that she has an invisible jet. She just made a jet invisible.
Because she can turn things invisible.
Because her powers are limitless.
Yeah, and make no sense. Like, it's also just insane because she's like, I have to turn this invisible because of radar,
I think. But we tried to discuss, like, would radar pick it up still?
Yeah, because it still has a physical body. Like, it still exists. Yeah. Otherwise, they would just fall through it. Like,
but I guess, like, how does, like... Because I know sonar uses sonic energy, and sonar probably would still pick it up.
Yeah.
Right? Because it would still bounce off of the physical mass of the jet itself.
Yeah.
However, if it was like some kind of light would pass through it. But even then, there was like a slight distortion around it.
There was a slight distortion around it. Also, the actual light particles would still hit it. It's just like... Yeah. It's camo based. Like the rules of invisibility are very confusing, but like light still bounces off solid objects even if you couldn't see it. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. Well,
like black ice appears to be...
It depends, like, if it's invisible to all like parts of the wavelength spectrum. That's like what it is. Like,
that's the thing is,
if it's invisible in like the visible wavelength, then it's probably still going to be picked up by like high frequency microwaves. Mm-hmm. Like, is she able to completely hide it from the entire electromagnetic spectrum?
Then what would the implications be of the molecules of the actual plane? Wouldn't they just fall through it? Like, that's like my question.
I mean, who knows, man?
Like, that's so crazy.
There's a lot to this. That's more stuff for the third movie to address.
Yeah, they're gonna have a scene with a blackboard and like Neil deGrasse Tyson going, "Okay, here's how."
Oh my god!
I don't even know what he sounds like.
It'll be the opening scene. He's explaining the properties of invisibility to a college class.
Yeah,
and she'll walk in and talk to him. Oh my god, I can see all of that.
Oh my god, that actually, get rid of Patty Jenkins, hire us.
Yeah,
we will make your movies less problematic.
Yeah. Or it could go full hokey. And she can explain it to a college class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she could turn the college class invisible.
She'll do
then they'll do pranks at the frat house, brother.
And that's how she'll find love, finally.
And she's going to start dating really younger.
Yeah.
She's like 1,000 years old.
And it's going to be that guy who was in all those movies you watched. The guy who looks like Andrew Garfield a little bit.
Whatever, Centineo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I want to say Paul, but that's not right. Noah Centineo.
A straight to Tubi movie.
Oh, God, I love it.
I freaking wish, dude.
I wish Wonder Woman was a straight to Tubi movie. Oh God, there's like a lot to touch on.
There is a lot. This is going to be a longer episode, but that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. I feel like I can't tell how we should do this. Should we just go chronologically, or should we talk about like the individual characters? Because there aren't a lot of them. We could just talk about their whole arc.
Let's talk about the characters, because we don't need to go event by event in this movie.
Yeah, for sure.
We do have the cheetah, who I think was the character that was the most effective.
Yeah, for sure.
I think like you discussed like the perils of becoming too powerful and how it can corrupt you and all sorts of stuff like that.
Yeah, a classic comic book trope.
Yeah, that stuff like actually worked just fine.
Yeah.
And I liked that. And it made her more interesting by far than Wonder Woman.
Also, then we got to see Kristen Wiig like pretend to pick up like 305 and clean it and press it.
Oh, that was a very funny scene.
Because
the workout scene when she discovers she's really strong.
And she like starts curling like 35s and she's like, huh. And then she just like fucking overhead presses 305.
Yeah.
And they did I think the worst job I've ever seen in a movie of making weights look like they're heavy. Like they just looked like fucking flimsy ass weights. They didn't even fall to the ground right. Like it was so bad.
I think she was a little goofified by her costume at the end, because I thought she was cool when she was just wearing like a leather jacket and her hair was all fucked up.
Yeah.
And it was just like total ridiculousness. But then they put her up in makeup, which was fine. And then they did her up in CGI, and that CGI was bad.
Oh, and also it was fucking gray on gray again.
Yeah.
Like,
they always do that.
Avery, what color is a fucking cheetah?
Yeah,
is it fucking yellow?
Like you'd think that like in a movie that tried so hard to be slightly more colorful.
Yeah.
You'd think that they would like at least like it's cheetah's orange or yellowish, right? Like whatever.
It's fucking stupid. I just can't believe they did that. And like, but yeah, I think that like one of her best scenes was like the one where she fights Wonder Woman in the White House. It's great.
And it was like simple, and there was like actually some kind of stakes.
And like Diana actually kind of got her ass kicked.
Yeah, she like met her match, and that was good. Like that was probably the height of the movie. And then it all gets a little silly from there. Pedro Pascal he turns himself into the Wish Stone.
Yeah.
Which I think is like kind of cool. And his power is that you only get one wish on the Wish Stone, but if you become the Wish Stone, then you just get everybody else to wish on you.
And like so. They do a really poor job of explaining this, but every wish has a drawback.
They never explain it.
And when you're the Wish Stone, you get to determine the drawback.
Yeah.
And he like kind of alludes to it, but he's just very unclear. Like I watched this movie twice like an idiot, it was a bad idea. But I watched it when Avery was out for Christmas, and then I was like, yeah, well, we have to watch this anyway.
Yeah, what I didn't figure out, because there was part where he was like starting to like get all sickly looking. Like I was just like, oh crap. Like every time somebody wishes on him, a part of him dies. I was like, that's fucking cool. And I thought that it was gonna kind of come around full circle, and it never does.
No, because like the thing is, they establish him as sick early in the movie, and he's just like actually just like a sickly guy.
Oh, that's way worse.
It's so dumb.
I thought it was like every time like his organs fail a little more every time somebody wishes on him. That would have been so much better.
It would have been better.
But then it's like, I forget what else it is. So like he also gets something in return for the wishes.
Yeah, so
which isn't explained until he goes and like hangs out with the president, which is the dumbest scene.
Yeah. Oh my god. But yeah, it's like a monkey's paw. You know, it's like you get your wish, but you get to do the monkey's paw takes something from you, and he's the monkey's paw in this situation. So he gets whatever he wants out of it. You know? So he's just taking people's shit, and he like when he took that caravan of dudes, and then they had that really bad chase scene where Wonder Woman
lassos the rocket propelled grenade that Chris Pine shoots out of like
a tank,
the passenger side seat of a tank. And
then she like uses it to like fling herself forward. It's amazing. Yeah. It's like the dumbest shit you've ever seen.
Oh yeah. And
she's leg pressing cars and shit. It's great.
she's like 50 feet in the air, and oh my god, it's like a Sonic the Hedgehog game.
Oh my god, it's so
totally absurd.
Gotta go fast.
Yeah, it's so insane. And like I saw the one scene that they used in the trailer. The one where she's like way up in the fucking air and like running, and I was like, that looks stupid. And then you could like see it in the trailer. Oh my god, I could hear all of it. But like Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. So anyway, Pedro Pascal, he eventually like gets a fucking laser weapon thing that allows you to physically touch everyone in the world
or something.
And then he like goes to a compound and makes them all do wishes, and then gets sad because his son's gonna die.
Yeah, and that's so like he had an okay arc too, because he's like pushing his son off the entire time, and his son wanders into the quickly becoming we made a joke that his son becomes part of a post-apocalyptic punk gang, and like he's like, Dad,
he's an Anprim now.
These are my new friends.
This is Rufus. Other Anprim names,
and that's me. You know what I mean? Like, I can see all of it.
Yeah.
And that's Lord Humongous. He's like hanging out with the Mad Max characters.
I just want to be very clear. Lord Humongous is the smallest guy you've ever seen. Literally so small.
Is that a thing? I didn't know that was a thing.
No, I just wanted to help paint the picture for you.
Okay.
He's like, this is my friend Lord Humongous. It's like a little tiny guy.
Hey.
He's like he has primordial dwarfism, like that one actor from Island of Dr. Moreau.
Yeah.
Perfect casting.
Yeah, perfect.
He's a doctor.
So what else? Did anything else happen in this movie? I don't think so. Pedro Pascal learns his lesson, and then everything goes back to normal.
And then Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman's boyfriend dies again, and she goes into another berserker rage again.
Yeah.
Over it.
Yep.
So
woke as hell, guys.
Yeah. That's her motivations are 75% motivated by whether or not she has a boyfriend.
Yeah.
And 25% motivated on stopping the bad guy.
Yeah.
So that's cool enough. Whatever. I can give it that. But yeah, Wonder Woman 84. Wonder Woman 94.
Wonder Woman 2004.
Wonder Woman Punk 2077.
Damn.
Yeah, right? Why not?
Wonder
Could have
Woman
taken place at any time.
30 AD.
30 AD?
Yeah.
Whoa. Why not?
Yeah, fuck it, dude.
Why not, dude?
Let's do it.
I'm sure let's just get her in every historical time period amongst every.
Let's have her fight the Romans to save Jesus.
Yeah. Why not?
Let's put her next to the cast of 300 at their current age fighting the Persians.
Let's get her during the signing of the Declaration of Independence.
Let's have her help Nick Cage steal the Declaration of Independence. Yeah.
That sounds kind of sick. That actually sounds like a cool fucking movie.
Yeah.
National Treasure 4 or whatever.
Yeah.
And rope it into the freaking... I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I kind of think that's cool.
But the thing is Nick Cage is the only real Ghost Rider, a Marvel superhero.
Yeah,
sorry.
It's true.
You can't.
Marvel would never let it happen. So yeah, that's Wonder Woman. What was this called?
1884.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman Civil War.
Right. So let's do our finishing segment here.
All right.
We give it 5 words, a rating out of 10, and whether or not we recommend that you watch it.
Okay.
And Ash, you start. I don't have 5 words yet.
This isn't what feminism is. It's my 5 words. Yeah, dude. This is broke man's woke. This is like some of the dumbest shit. Gal Gadot's terrible. The only good thing about these movies has been Kristen Wiig, which is kind of not what I expected to be saying. When I saw her in the trailer, I was like, fuck, are you kidding me, dude? Like, I just thought it was so lame. Actually did a really great job. Patty Jenkins is not a genius, despite what Twitter may say. Her casting is like 1 for 8. Like, it's fucking terrible. Yeah, this movie, I'm just going to give them both. I'm going to go Wonder Woman 1 gets a 5. Wonder Woman 2 gets a 6.
All right. There you go. I'm going to be a little meaner.
Good. I agree. I probably am being a little too nice with those numbers.
Mine's going to be, what was this movie called?
Nice.
This movie was pretty forgettable.
Yeah.
The first one even more so, I think.
Oh my God.
Like by a pretty big margin. I think like the thing is that like if you're someone who enjoyed this, like I see why, because there is the fun there. I don't know. I was a little annoyed by the fact that they were supposed to be like it's a female character and badass females and feminism and like that stuff is stuff that I can, get behind. But unfortunately, this kind of hamstrings itself on that.
Yeah, it's like not
really
even
like her motivation is almost entirely her boyfriend. It's just like it reminds me of the like 80s Supergirl movie.
Yeah,
which is like she goes shopping and like gets a boyfriend and like goes to college or something, I think.
Tight.
And it's like so stupid and it has nothing to do. There's nothing heroic about any of that. It's just because she's a woman. Like that's what girls do, I guess. I guess that's what the girls do. They get boyfriends.
Yeah.
Like that's what the gross, disgusting Warner Brothers execs are thinking.
Yeah.
And it's pretty annoying to me. And I think that this movie has, especially Wonder Woman 84, does have fun stuff. It is there if you're not a cynical person like myself. I would say
they learned stuff from...
They definitely learned. They did.
From like Shazam and Birds of Prey, which I think had funner elements to them.
At least. Yeah. They tried. Yeah. And I think Gal Gadot didn't stand that transition from old DC when everything was dark and dour and Zack Snyder and serious to the newer DC where they're trying more colorful elements.
Yeah.
And I think it shows because she comes across like a brick wall, which worked in Zack Snyder's, or at least felt universally consistent with Zack Snyder's. I wouldn't say it necessarily worked. But not that Wonder Woman wasn't directed by Zack Snyder. It was Patty Jenkins, right? Yep. But they definitely tonally took a lot of elements from the Zack Snyder era of those DC movies.
Yeah, and I think he was an EP on it too, or at least was
could have been. Yeah,
he was definitely associated with the film.
And so it's one of those things where I don't know. I don't think I can. I would say skip the first one entirely if you haven't seen it, because you can get everything that the first one had in the second one, and it's a little bit more fun. And you'll probably get a little bit more out of it at least. And it's at least colorful and a distraction from the terrible events of the world. So I'm going to say, yeah, go ahead and watch it. I didn't really think it was very good.
Yeah.
And as far as a numerical rating, that first one was just a real drag. I got to give that like a 3 out of 10. And then the second one, I'll give a 4.
Okay. I want to change my numbers because of one simple factor. They're both fucking 2.5 hours long, and it is
way too long.
Unbelievably unearned. Yeah, I'm gonna go down to a 4 and a 5.
Yeah, it does seem like it reminds me of when Aquaman came out, and it was 2.5 hours long, and people were like, Jesus Christ, 2.5 fucking hours long for Aquaman.
Long. It was long.
I think Aquaman felt longer than Wonder Woman 84 did, but I also think that there was some more fun stuff in Aquaman.
Oh yeah.
So like, it makes me think like I don't really know which one.
Your lead had charisma.
Yeah, like at least Jason Momoa is like kind of funny.
It was like the inverse because Amber Heard was also just a brick wall.
Yeah. So
too busy beating
that's the flip side there. The two sides of the same DC coin. It's going to be subpar, but you probably aren't going to hate it.
Yeah, it'll at least have some moments that are enjoyable. It's just everything around those moments that sucks.
Yeah, and so I don't know. Why not? Watch Wonder Woman 84 if you have HBO. I wouldn't sign up for HBO for it.
Yeah,
that's what I'll say.
Yeah, I wouldn't say HBO has the catalog to justify.
Yeah, if you exactly. If you already have it, you might as well watch it. You probably already have. If you don't have HBO,
those are the two options.
Yeah.
Congrats, everyone.
Wait until you know somebody who has it and use their password.
Yeah. There's only one person that has HBO.
And
so
it's us.
It's me.
And it's Asher. So you're going to have to email us.
Yeah. Email us. Ask for my password. I'll give it to you.
Yeah, you will. Yeah. Actually,
sure, dude.
Actually, leave us 5 stars on iTunes and we will buy you an HBO Go account.
Okay. Chill, dude. Chill.
Leave us 5 stars.
And I'll share my password. I'm not going to buy them one. Come on.
And we will.
I'll buy HBO for you. Fuck it.
And we will come to your house and watch. If you send us an email, this is all it takes. Yeah. We'll come to your house and we'll make fun of a movie with you.
Or we will reenact a movie for you.
Oh my God.
The worst service ever.
Oh my God. Yeah. And we'll do it, but only if you live in Texas, more specifically Austin,
and
Texas.
Hopefully within 3 blocks.
Yeah. Hopefully we can walk there.
All right, guys. Always lovely to talk to all our wonderful fans. We will see you again next week.
Next week it's the first week of 2021. We're doing my whole thing.
Yeah,
remember?
You got a theme week.
We got a whole special theme. So I'm just going to tell them now. So I thought of a kind of fun idea because it's finally the year 2021, which sounds like such a sci-fi movie year. Like, doesn't it? Like the year is 2021.
Yeah.
Cars fly. Donald Trump was president, stuff like that. And so I thought I was going to go back and look through a list of movies that take place in 2021. I found a couple good ones, some that are actually okay movies that we have seen, and then a couple that we haven't seen, and then some that look like terrible movies.
Okay.
So I can't wait because it's just a grab bag of stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
Oh.
And there's like 4 of them, so
Okay,
it'll be good.
Perfect amount.
But all right, guys, thank you so much for listening and hanging out with us. We love you all so much. Goodbye.